Chinese health authorities are still working to identify the virus behind a pneumonia outbreak in the central city of Wuhan.
All of Italy now, in effect, quarantined. Prime Minister.
I can also confirm, as did the Director General of Health, that we have 2 cases where public health officials have been unable to find how they came in contact with COVID-19. On that basis, we now consider there is transmission within our communities.
We've been asking people to stay at home during this pandemic.
This has a foothold in so many countries. The threat of a pandemic has become very real.
So this is day 3 of isolation. Not much has really happened. I didn't really film day 1 and 2 because I was still getting things set up within my bedroom around. That's what you can see in the background. Yeah, so everything's moved pretty quickly, it seems. Yeah, everything seems to have moved pretty quickly. I had my first college lesson online today. That went alright, I think. The shops, I walked up to shops and they didn't really have anything in the way of toilet roll, and they're actually putting marks on the ground of how far you gotta keep away from people. They're putting up a guard on Saturdays to stop you from actually going near them. To be fair, I can see what it is, but it's a weird time because I don't think no one really knows what to do. It's probably a worrying time for a lot of businesses and communities, because we were told by the Prime Minister that you have to expect loved ones to die. What can be true, but it's a bit scary, I feel. It's a bit more of, you gotta take it day to day, not just, because at the end of the day we don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just making a video blog about the whole experience I'm having personally, and hopefully it turns into a good piece. Yeah, it's weird. The 26th of March, 8 o'clock, was the day that the country clapped for the NHS. We did this out of a sign of respect, and we did this to show our gratitude towards the healthcare system. I was a bit blown away by the amount of people that were actually outside clapping when it's so dark, but it really restores hope that you're not just on this alone. And I'm going to touch on how people can feel alone in later. It was something different. I heard clapping all through the street. I heard people on the other street across cheering, chanting. It was something different. It was very nice. And I just wanted to let you know that this happened, because you've seen it in Italy, you've seen it in Spain, and not just we did it in England, but I thought I was going to be the only one there. At 8 o'clock I filmed on my phone so it didn't draw attention, because I didn't want to draw attention. I wanted to draw attention to the people in the NHS. who are working round the clock to try and help people in need. Yes, I'm grateful for all the times they have helped people. Now it's only a few days into my isolation, but I feel lonely. I talk to people and I feel like I'm there with them, but it just isn't the same. Having college courses over the internet just doesn't feel the same. Being not able now, because of what the government has announced, not to go outside for exercise, only for if you need to shop, takes a toll on you. And you have to ask yourself, what's gonna happen? I am going to speak about today is how my mental health is slowly deteriorating, because I'm looking at the four walls of my bedroom for most of the day. Now, I know I'm behind, but I need to take a break because I couldn't do cameras because I was just trying to do stuff, and like my own mental health now is slowly deteriorating. Like, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't know how much more I can do, because if I look at these walls now, there has been a saviour to my mental health and my creativity. Now, normally I play video games to relieve stress and to have fun. It hasn't really been working, because it turns out you play too many video games, you don't like it. So, you know, so one major thing that has actually been working for me is Netflix. Now, Netflix has lots of different shows, and struggling with is motivation. Now, it's easy to say, oh, get motivation, you know, motivation to do stuff, do it. But what is really hard is where I work for everything. I have my TV, I have my bed, I have my settee. Now, it's hard to keep motivated while doing one thing, and being cooped up in one room really doesn't help. And if I'm being honest, motivation is one of my biggest struggles right now, because before I go to college, I do work, and I come home, I relax, I do some college work, I do some editing. Like, I haven't edited in a week. Now, I used to do a little bit of editing every few days to, you know, create some random stuff in my head, and like I wanted to start using Blender. Like, I got halfway through Blender and I was like, you know what? I can't really be bothered. Like, it's a serious thing in my brain where I'm like, motivation is running really low because I don't know what to do with my time, and I can't go out with friends because I'm not allowed to go out with friends. And in my head, it's just, and like I've got college work to do, and I've been really struggling with that, because it's like with my dyslexia, like, if you don't know, I have dyslexia, and I'm not using that. I've never used dyslexia to my disadvantage whatsoever. But writing a Word document, yeah? Now stay with me. Writing a Word document, and imagine on that Word document all you see is red and blue, and in your head all you see is red and blue, and you know you've misspelled so many words. And that's a bit of a demoralizing thing, because I used to be able to go to someone and go, help me with this thing please. But it's like, now it's, if they're online, can they help? What are they doing? And I know the support is there, but my mental well-being is telling me no. And in my head, it's just crowding me up, and I have stuff on stuff on stuff. And that's why I'm wearing this shirt, because they're allowing me to just film it. Just film it. And it's just been getting all on my head, all over me, and I feel so swamped. And when you feel swamped, you don't want to do it because you feel so down and your motivation goes. And I just want, that's also a part of I didn't want to film, because I don't have motivation. And at the end of the day, I just want to get out of this room, because this room is like, it feels like prison. Now, like, you could say, oh, just move it to another room, move it downstairs, but I don't want to, because, you know, I'm up here, I've got everything set up. Like, I have so much to do. Like, moving monitors don't really help my situation, or setting it back up, that doesn't really help either. So yeah, I'm trying to be creative. Wow, this is a long time no see. So basically, today is the 1st of May. I haven't really vlogged much recently, because I've been trying to do some college work, and I've also been trying to keep up with editing this for you. Yeah, I'm still getting a bit crazy, to be fair. Yeah, I should really vlog some more. I just try and find the time to do it. But normally when I'm doing like pieces that I need lighting and cameras, I normally try and do that then. So the last thing I remember talking about is the mental impact that the corona and isolation is having on me. Today I want to talk about how media businesses such as Sky News, BBC and other news companies are blowing this way out of proportion. Like, I know that it's bad and people are dying from it, but the way they're describing it makes it seem like masses and masses and masses of people are dying from it. BBC and Sky News are very easily telling people that people are dying from this really quickly. However, in the world right now, there is 3,270,000 people who have got and confirmed cases of coronavirus. Now, only 234,000 people have died. Now, that is a big number, but wait till you hear this number. 1.2 million people have recovered from coronavirus. Now, Sky News, BBC News, CNN and Fox News are all blowing it out of proportion, saying that more people are dying than people are surviving, or interpreting that to an organisation. So why are they doing this? They're doing this to provoke fear into people. Now, the way they're doing this is, one, the government aren't really helping because they're doing daily news conference and telling people how many people have died or what's the next steps. Two, at 5 PM we get news about how many people have died and not how many people are living from the coronavirus. Like, on Google right now, you can't really see a number of people who have like survived it. So that's another tactic they're using. And three, they're just being themselves, and it's really annoying because if you can't see through it, they're just making a lot of money off scared people, and that's how the news works. Don't you think that news organisations should be held accountable for their actions? Now, there is a law in the UK where I am, where you have to allow people from different parties the same amount of time. Shouldn't that be for even in a pandemic? Because shouldn't you allow the same amount of time for people who have died and people who have survived? Now, yes, it is sad, and I feel so sorry for the people who have died from this, especially the old people who have lost loved ones, young families, babies and everyone else. I do feel sorry for them, and yes, this isn't very scripted and it does sound like I'm going on a ramble, but this is how I feel. I would like to see news actually be accountable for what they are doing. They're fear-mongering, really. Now, it does sound bad that I'm saying that, but it does feel like they are fear-mongering people, and it is not fair. People are surviving from coronavirus. Not everyone who has got it is dying. They're showing documentary footage of people dying in coronavirus areas, and people in hospitals and nursing homes who are dying, and there is a factor of people are dying, but they're not showing the people who have recovered. Now, sometimes you do see people who leave and they say, oh, so they do mention it, they just don't hold on to that fact of, oh, she survived. No, she's just grieving. That's all we're going to talk about. And yes, she is grieving because, you know, Sally's husband, they were together for 70 years and it was horrible. And I do understand that. That's horrible for her. But she survived it, and they aren't talking about the people who have survived. Like, you know, we can get through this if we all stick together. No, we can't, because people are too scared to go outside. We're going to get to that state where people are, I don't want to go outside because I'm too scared that I might get coronavirus. Well, you know, what's going to happen? What's going to happen when we all go back out into the real world? Like, they're saying that people might have to social distance for about a year. Like, don't get me wrong, that's alright, but how are you going to social distance in a school?
I think what we gotta remember is that we're all gonna get through this, even if we have to lose many people. The ones who aren't going to survive this are the people who are going to carry on, tell the legacy of things that happened. So yeah, you're not alone. This is more of a message for me. You're not alone. You are still here. You're in a good situation. You're in a better situation than anyone else could be. Don't worry. And you're gonna get through this. So